Hello everyone, I am Hamna, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you how you can utilize the AO scan in your virtual facilitation, coaching business, health practice, whatever it is, basically walking you through how you would set up a remote session with the AO scan. Now, I am a distributor of the AO scan as well as someone who uses this with clients all over the world. I have clients in several different countries, so we're always doing virtual sessions, and the request has been continually made to really demo how exactly we go about setting up a virtual session for the best possible experience for both yourself in the ease of facilitation as well as your client in receiving the frequencies. So I use Zoom when I'm working with a client. So you'll see me hooked up on Zoom right now on my computer. I've also then taken my tablet where the AO scan device is set up, and I am also on Zoom on my tablet as well right now. Now the key is, let's see if we can show you this. The key that you're going to have to do here is when you're on, let's see where I can touch without making it go away. Oh, not there. Okay, so the key is you cannot have the audio connected onto the second device. If you connect the audio, it's going to make this noise, and it's very uncomfortable for everyone. So you're going to click on the three little buttons at the bottom that say more, and you'll see if I was connected to the audio, it would say disconnect audio, right? So it would give you the option to disconnect your audio on the AO scan device. Now, if your device is not going to come with Zoom installed, so you're just going to have to install Zoom onto your, whether you're using the tablet or you're using the handheld phone, you just need to install Zoom onto that device just as you would any other smartphone or tablet, right? So now that I have both locked in, my client would join this call, right? So they would join this call as well. The AO scan is linked up into the call as well. Now that's very important because the AO scan is using the radionic field. It is connecting to the client via the connection that is made through the device being linked up to the client. The client is linked up through Zoom, the device is linked up through Zoom, and it's connecting in through those radio waves. Now, I am not an expert on the science behind it all. If you are interested in that, I'm happy to share videos with you to inform yourself on that part of it. That being said, that's about all I need to know in order to explain it to my clients as why it's important for them to be on the call with the AO scan device and Zoom. Now, you could also do this over the phone. You don't have to use Zoom. You could do it over the phone if you just literally call them from the device. All the devices have the cellular capacity, so you'd call them from the physical device. Now, I like to be face to face with clients. I like to be able to screen share things. I like to be, I'm a very visual person. And I also find that if I connect with people virtually, over the phone is not always so personal as it is a video call where we can see each other. I can see them emoting as various different information comes up, as various different, you know, emotions come up in their inner voice or results come up in their vital scan. I can see them emoting. I can see their reactions. And that is actually telling me a lot about them. It's telling me where they might be stuck. It's telling me where they might need my support. It's telling me where they might need a little bit more from me emotionally and as a facilitator beyond just what I'm doing with them with the AO scan. So that's why I like to be face to face with them, because I can see them and I can see what's going on for them. I can see them, what information might be triggering them. I can see where they might be having an emotional reaction to some information, which means that there's some trauma there that I can support them through. So that's why I like to be virtual with people. Now, if you're not a virtual person, you don't want to be on screen, that's all good too, but you still want to have the capacity to screen share with them, you would just turn off your video, have them turn off their video, and you'd be able to still do it set up through Zoom, right? Okay, so now let's get into doing the scan. So you'll see now I have my, try not to get a glare. I have my AO scan set up as well. And if I click this little button, you'd see I'm still on Zoom right there and my AO scan's right there, right? So let's just quickly go through a vital scan. Now I find that the screen sharing can get a little difficult when I am actually running the scan. So I typically don't screen share while the scan is happening. I will screen share the results, and especially because when you're screen sharing, it won't let you run the optimized frequencies. So typically I hook up a speaker to the device because it's just a little bit louder, and I find that they can hear it a little bit better. So I'm gonna not run a full vital scan because it will take a while. I'm just going to run it for the blood. So we are really quick when I just clicked blood so that you could hear we're running the scan, right? Now, if I'm wanting to show the reports, this is when I'm going to go back to my Zoom screen on the tablet. I'm going to tap on it and it's going to show up this little green button right there. Tap on the screen, green button that says share. It's going to ask me what I want to share, and I'm going to say I want to share my screen. Start now. And then I'm going to go into the AO scan where I can open up the report. So I only ran the vitals for the blood, so that's why it's much shorter than what you would see if we were running a full vitals report. So you would show them the scan, you would go through it. This is before we've done a session, an optimized session. And you would just go through the report with them. Now just remember, you can always click what you want. If you want to focus on just toxicities in your sessions with your clients in that particular call, so that you don't have to sit with them and go through the whole, if you're looking at comprehensive, it's going to go up to 5 minutes of scanning. The vitals is up to 3 minutes, I believe now, of scanning. So if I just want to say run a toxicity scan, I'm just going to click that. But since I've already run the blood scan today, it's not going to let me run it again on this client. Now, when I'm setting up the optimized frequencies, there's a couple different things that I do, and we got to go back to the blood because that's where we're at. Now, one is I have to stop sharing the screen because the optimized frequencies will not come through if I'm screen sharing, at least on my device. So I stop my screen share. And I have two different methods that I use to ensure the best quality sound. One is if I'm using my desktop, I have a microphone that I have hooked up and I put it next to the speaker. I have also found that my phone actually captures the frequencies so much better than even this microphone does sometimes. So I hooked up my phone as well so that you could hear both on this call, and then you can play with it. And this is a Samsung phone. I don't know how iPhones would work with that. That being said, first let's play it via the speaker. So I actually don't speak into the speaker because it's a one directional speaker. So I actually have to switch my mic just for the frequencies. So that's what you're going to hear me doing now. All right, so that was really quick, right? Because we just did the blood. And I just wanted you to hear what that would sound like through the mic here. Now let's go into the comprehensive scan. So if you have seen the new scan, the intelligent scan is coming soon. It's coming next week. That's going to be able to give us more insights into why what we're seeing coming up is coming up. Right now, we're just going to go into a custom scan. And just for sake of time on this video, I'm going to only run the chromosomes. And I'm going to unclick all the other ones. Okay. So I'm going to, again, run my scan. Right, so we're scanning just the chromosomes right now, so this should be quick. All right, so I want to go in and show them their reports, right? So I'm going to go back to my Zoom and I'm going to go back to my screen share. Right, and I'm going to pull up my report. Remember, this is just going to be the chromosomes because that's all I selected. And then I'd be able to go through the report and say I want to open up the 3D. I would click on, let's just say I want to look at the telomeres here. So I'd click on telomere. It's going to take a moment to load here. And then I'm going to be able to use my fingers and pinch and zoom and look at various different things within the telomere, whether I want to zoom it in. You know, obviously we're not looking at anything advanced like we would be if we were looking at, let's say, the brain. Let's see, let's click on our DNA marker. So you can just see, it's going to show us all, and we'll be able to zoom in, look at the insides of the DNA. It's DNA marker, right? So that's how you could go in. And that's really helpful for me when I'm showing organs, showing, especially the brain. I do a lot of work with people with the brain. And when we're looking at, okay, where was I impacted in my brain? And we actually point out those regions in the brain. It's very helpful for the clients to make sense of their injury based on, okay, yeah, I was hit there in the brain, and oh, this area of my brain that's being affected is actually right where I was hit. So it just is very helpful in that sense of 3D. But again, you'd show them their comprehensive report, whether you show them the report before and after, or you just show them the after report. I'm going to, again, stop my screen share so that I can run the frequency. This time I want you to hear it though from the phone so that you can get a sense of how it sounds differently so that you can play around with your different mic setups. Now, if I'm doing it just and I want my mic on my phone, I'm gonna just log in on my phone on Zoom and on my AOScan device on Zoom. But the phone doesn't make nice videos for y'all, so that's why I'm doing it multiple, and this way I can show you how to disconnect and connect the audio. So in order for me to make this work right now, I need to connect the audio here and disconnect the audio on my computer so there's not that wah-wah sound. But I want you to hear that sound just for a moment so that you know what it's like. So I'm going to go join audio. Hear that? Right, that's because so now I've disconnected the audio on my computer and have it just on my phone so that you're no longer hearing that wah-wah. So that sound that you heard is because the audio is connected on both devices. That's why it's so, so important that you remember to disconnect the audio on the device that your Zoom is connected into, because you don't need the audio for Zoom on that device, right? Okay, so now let us go ahead and optimize the frequencies. I'm going to set this down here next to the speaker. All right, so I just ran that for a brief few minutes so that you could hear how that sounds for you. So again, I recommend you play around with this and find the mic that works best for you, that you have, that picks up the frequencies. You do not need to have your client on the line to do that. I recommend connecting into the AOScan from your tablet on Zoom. and then connecting to Zoom through your computer, and then connecting on your phone and taking your phone out into the other room. So that this is like the participant that's listening, right? And then you test out your microphones between your computer and the AO scan, and you, once the frequencies are playing into the mic, you go into the other room and you listen to how it would sound on your phone as a client, right? Because that would basically be how it would sound for your client. And then you just play around with different mics that you have. If you have additional mics, great. This was, just a super cheap mic on Amazon, fee fine, that works just well. You just have to make sure that you play around with the direction of the mic, making sure the direction's correct. You don't need a huge fancy mic. Like I said, honestly, the best mic that I have for picking up the frequencies is my phone, my normal smartphones. That's usually what I'm using, unless I'm doing a lot of diagnostic sessions. A diagnostic session, I'm going to log in on my computer and my phone and the AO scan like I'm doing today. If I'm just doing a frequency session, these are just quick 10-minute sessions that I do with people. I'm just logging in on my phone and running the AO scan for them. So those are the various different things that you could work with. Now, when you're doing an inner voice and you want to do an inner voice, your client doesn't need to be live for the inner voice session. If they are, though, you would just go back. All right, so let's screen share this for you so you can see what's happening. Okay. So I just go to my inner voice and I would basically have the client begin speaking. And typically I have them do the vowels because I find that I get the clearest subconscious read on what's going on. And that's what I'm concerned about. Some people have different practices that they're working with in their business. So you might want to have your clients speak a positive affirmation or speak from anger or speak from these different places. If that's how you're running your sessions based on what you're looking for and working with clients, I'm working with people more in the subconscious, deep layers within themselves. And I want them to just speak the vowels however they're going to naturally do it in that moment, because that's going to be clear from their subconscious, right? So I would just pick up their voice and I'm just going to talk here for the amount of time. And basically that is how I would have them do it. They'd be talking, I'd be quiet, and it's picking up the voice coming off my computer, essentially. Okay. So we've just started it again. That is how I would run the reports with them. And again, I would not be screen sharing while I was doing that, because what happens when you're screen sharing while you do that, it's not going to show up the colors that you would normally see here. The scale doesn't show it when you're screen sharing. You have to start screen sharing after if you want to go in and, share with them the reports, right? So the last thing is the Cepheid frequencies. And remember, all of these are not available yet. As you can see, most of them are grayed out. They'll be slowly being released over the next months. So right now we have our quantum frequencies. And if I'm wanting to run these, I do not need to have my client on the call with me, right? So it's only for the vitals and comprehensive scans that the client needs to be linked up via Zoom or a call from the AO scan device. The Cepheid does not. You do need your client to be, you see up here, it says demo test. That's just my test demo site, right? There's no person, it's a picture of my plant. So this would need to be your client. So you would need to make sure that your client that you were wanting to send the frequencies to was logged into the device here. And remember, they don't have to be on the call. Then I would just select a frequency, let's just say allergies, and I could just put this down somewhere. I usually put it in my bathroom so that I'm not having to hear it myself, and I just play the frequencies. Now, sometimes what I like to do is I like to record the frequencies, and I just have a handy little Zoom mic that I set next to it and I record them. And then I can send the frequency to my client as well, so that every time they listen to it, they're connecting into the quantum of when that session was run for them, so that they can keep working with these frequencies beyond me needing to be there. Okay. So I believe that is everything for the best practices of setting up and working with your mics, and to ensure that you have a very smooth process with your clients and that they have very powerful experiences, so that this device is incredible. It is such a game changer in our health and in our awareness of what's going on in our bodies. So we want to be utilizing it to our absolute best capacity. So I hope that this video made sense to you. If you are already working with the AO scan and you have questions, you can send me a message in your back office. If you're a part of my team, you can hop into our Telegram chat, or you can connect with your upline and ask them for some support. If you are not an AO scan and you just saw that and you were like, wow, I want to learn more about this, then I recommend that you go and watch the other video that I have on this playlist that will give you more of a demonstration of what this technology is capable of. And if you have any questions, I'll drop my email below and you can send me an email as well. I hope that this was helpful for you and that you have a really beautiful rest of your day.